Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to a special video event today called Opening Your 12 Chakra Gateways to Unleash Your Soul Purpose, How to Discover Your Hidden Genius Through Energy Medicine and Sound Healing. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I'm delighted to be with you here today, learning right alongside with you from a true master healer and a teacher who has really developed a comprehensive system of working with an expanded array of our energy centers. I mean, I'm sure most of you have heard about the 7 chakras, and we're talking about 12 chakras. It's expanding our palette to include more levels of our being, and therefore an enhanced ability to heal and ultimately to serve our purpose on this planet. So he's got some really fascinating insights. His name is Rhys Thomas, and he is the founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine and creator of the Rhys Method, which is a powerful system of self-discovery and transformation that has literally helped thousands of get clarity on their purpose in life and have the energy and courage to live their life they want to live it. It's also had a book out, Discover Your Purpose, How to Use the 5 Life Purpose Profiles. He's a graduate and former teacher of the Institute of Healing Arts and Sciences, Reiki Master, 2nd degree black belt, on and on and on. Great bio, really fascinating life journey, and a really amazing person to learn from. So welcome, Rhys.
Thank you, Stephen. Love to be here.
Well, let's talk, besides just the bio, it's always nice to have a little bit of backstory before we jump in with you about like how you got to where you are and what put you on this path as really being a teacher of energy work and healing.
Well, like everybody, I think I started out sort of, a super playful kid, and then figured out what a guy's supposed to be and how we're supposed to do things. And I thought, well, guys are supposed to be athletic, and I was dyslexic, so school wasn't that great. So I thought, that's it. I'll be a really competitive, strong guy. And all through school and all through my teenage years, I was a competitive tennis player, then a professional tennis player. I then got an injury and went and started teaching tennis, had a 25-year career teaching tennis and then speaking for the tennis industry. And in that time, I also had this sort of thing that was kind of, itching in the back. I always loved spirituality. I always had these crazy dreams. I never told anybody about them. I did teach. I also did 25 years of martial arts, and I was teaching. I was trying to blend tennis and martial arts together in my teaching and my lecturing and things like that. So I was already kind of putting that together. But I was really sure that I was supposed to be a successful businessman who had a corporation and a business and these things, and I was sort of building that life. And then, our lives don't always turn out the way we wanted them to turn out. And even though I was successful at every level of sort of, have a great job, a great family, the summer homes, this, I got into my 30s and I really felt what I now call sort of a quiet desperation. I had succeeded at the things that I wanted to succeed at. There was always more, but I really didn't know what was going on in my body. I was having chronic injury problems, lower back issues, sinus issues, things like that. And I thought, well, I'll try this. I've been listening to Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra and all these people for all this time. And so in my late 20s, I started doing more of that work and started studying and feeling, what it's like to do energy work. And I thought, well, I'm a black belt in martial arts. This energy work's just got to enhance that. It's all chi anyway, right? And then I found that there was a 3-year training in energy medicine down in Connecticut. I lived in Boston. And I went there, and the very first day in class, I am sitting in class, I'm thinking, okay, all these people are doctors and PTs and therapists, and they all were. And I was like, but you know what? How hard can energy, how hard can this stuff be? And my teacher came over, who was a spectacular healer and psychic and seer. And she came over, she put her arm around me, and she looked up and she said, Rhys, are you going to come in and join us? And I was just like, are you kidding me? I'm a 2nd degree black belt. How am I not here? And it didn't even dawn on me at the time. It wasn't until I had actually done a few years of this work and sort of recognized what was happening and how I was feeling and energy that I had never actually been in my body as me. And so without running my energy, without actually being in there, I was trying to be somebody that I was supposed to be. And I started noticing, I went back and I was working with hundreds and hundreds of different people and clients and players, tournament players and pro players and you name it. I was working with all these people. I started asking myself the question, does this person have any idea who they are? Knowing that there's these energetic systems at play within us, I started realizing that nobody I knew who they really were. And that's when I started doing, I thought, I can teach this in tennis. And I always did. I always had the eye for someone's soul quality. That was my gift. My gift was that I could get a player to play from their deepest quality within them. I didn't realize that that was actually seeing the soul in someone. I just thought it was just smart to get them to play the way they wanted to. And I realized that I could skip the tennis lesson and just go right to the heart of it if I started my own energy medicine school, which I did now going on, 2005. So it's been a long time, and I've been able to work with thousands of people on how to discover that quality within them that has always been waiting for them to discover it, and often is looked the other way. It's sort of like, I'm not that, I'm this thing I'm supposed to be. And so many of us learn that from our parents, from society, that we're supposed to be good or nice or whatever, which of course we are, but we're also not supposed to be afraid of the fact that we stand up for ourselves and fight for ourselves and do things. So that's sort of my story, and it has been the greatest journey ever, because I love to be creative and to come up with an infinite number of ways to show you how the energy works through you to really deliver and show your greatness, so that you can then deliver and show your greatness in your jobs, in your relationships, and in your health.
Well, it's a fascinating life journey. I mean, I can't say that I know any other intuitive energy medicine people who have come out of the professional tennis world. And it's interesting to have these different trainings that converge as a kind of curriculum to give you a more integrated view. Well, I know so today we're going to focus on soul purpose and the 12 chakras. And I just want to give people a heads up front that this is not the end of the journey, that Rhys has actually agreed to teach a full 7-week program on this with us. And we'll share a little bit more about that towards the end of the hour today. But so let's talk about 12 chakras. First of all, is more than most people are used to thinking about. And why is it important to open all of these gateways to connect with our soul purpose?
Well, the 7 chakras are, so think about our, even just 50 years ago, chakra wasn't a word that if you ever said it, people would look at you really funny. Now you say chakra and they're like, oh yeah, you're one of those. And if you're in the right circles, it's like chakras are like a whole conversation and people understand, and there's like this deeper level of understanding. But before that, there was the body. And we've really studied it, dissected it. We knew everything about it. We knew how to, and then we started learning how to heal it. And we certainly got our medicine, our allopathic medicine, is the best. It's amazing. And when you've got a first chakra issue in your body, that's a great place to go and have it healed. But then the spiritual movement came along and sort of like and these healers started as the internet connected the whole world. Healers started coming in with these different things. There was acupuncture, there was chiropractic, all first chakra stuff. Then there was lower self and higher self and shadow self. That's all second chakra, healing. And then there's self-esteem work and, and taking action in the world and doing, a karma yoga, that's third chakra. And then we have all of our relationship and that's basically our anything we're doing with other people and our deeper sort of therapy around working with relationships and all. And then there's all the work with the fifth chakra, where we're creating, where our creative center, where we create out in the world, and then being able to see and experience the psychological elements of healing work. So each of the healing modalities, and then of course the spiritual work is the seventh chakra, is the mystical. And so we have these chakras, and when we start realizing that we're not just one thing, we got 7 things. It's like, wow, we got 7 parts of us that are doing 7 different real dimensions of consciousness, of awareness, of aliveness. And if we're only running through 2 or 3 of those, because, well, we're a guy and we should be just doing a lot of things and thinking a lot of things. And the rest of the chakras, forget the heart, forget the feelings, let's get to the real business here. Our bodies all of a sudden get sick, they, and have problems based on not managing those chakras. And so chakra healing opened up a doorway for people to start recognizing that the body was the result of the energy of the chakras. Now, the problem is that chakras serve something greater as well. And what's greater is, and everybody knows that does spiritual work, we know about chakras. We certainly know about the body. Everybody's got one. You take a look at mine. That's my first chakra. And now they know about chakras, and every one of the healing modalities is based in the chakras somewhere. Okay, the chakras, all healing modalities out there. The light grid therapy, that's all fifth chakra. That's the template for what the body's in. Everything that you can imagine, even the highest level things, they're all chakra based. Okay, and those chakras are related to something that actually brought us to the chakras, which was an epiphany, an awakening, a feeling deep within us, like there's a unity within us. There's something whole within us that we just can't. It's like ineffable, and it changed everything. And so you were doing yoga one day, you had a healing one day, you were just walking in the woods, and all of a sudden, a vision comes to you. And what happened is that you experienced directly your soul. And I've got some pictures here, which will be slides up there. And if you take a look at this slide here, we have the body over here. And then we have the chakras here, and everybody knows about the chakras and the body, and everybody knows that we have a soul, which is this immortal, expanding part of us, which is infinite, right? And doesn't really get concerned about daily affairs. It's just cheering you on. It's just like, yay, you go. Even though you've done that wrong 555 times, 556 might do it, or you may awaken at that point and realize that you've been going the wrong direction from the beginning. Okay, and the soul's all about that. It's very supportive. It loves you. And actually, when someone actually has like a major remission in cancer, they actually have touched the soul and touched that part of themselves that's never been sick, never had an argument with the spouse, never gotten old, never done any of those things. It's the essence, it's the consciousness that the chakras in the body work on. But what isn't being taught in the world right now is that there's a level of consciousness, which I actually trained very unconsciously. I was drawn to it because I was supposed to run a mystery school, which is the Rhys Institute of Energy Medicine. And I spent 25 years doing martial arts. And this point right here is like a line between heaven and earth. And on that point are 3 chakra centers, 3 energy centers that are the contracts for how the soul, and there are 2 soul points. One of the soul points is this experience of the soul, like you have when you had the epiphany, and the other one is where you actually then, when you come back, you see that quality in other people. You perceive the soul in other people, but that soul energy is too vast. And we need to do, and we're here to have a life purpose of living in our bodies and doing what we're supposed to be doing and having a purpose, both feeling it internally in the chakras and externally in how we are going to share in the world, because God knows we need a world of people that are making a difference right now. And to do that, though, to get the energy from here, from the soul, which is what we need to live our purpose, through to the chakras, it has to go through what's called, and in martial arts we called it the Hara line. I call it the life purpose line. And this is the line that the martial artists break bricks from. But it also has these energy centers on it that are your contracts. So your archetypal contracts. The primary archetype that Jung talked about is the self, right? He called the self the primary archetype. The problem is that he didn't have what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, which is that there are different kinds of souls that come in and have these different experiences. So the soul energy comes through, chooses a body and a set of contracts, and then in a way you're going to awaken in your life, which is usually in the midlife crisis when people come to me, and often it's probably here at the Shift Network as well. Many people who have sort of done things the way they were supposed to, like I did, woke up and realized, oh my God, I have no idea who I am. This isn't my life. I've got to change. Got to change things, change jobs, change relationships, change location. I now live in Spain. It's like I was like, wow, you can change when you realize that who you truly are. You're going to get called to your life rather than thinking your way through it. So this bridge from the soul to the chakras isn't a mystery anymore. This line has on it 3 energy centers. I call them 3 chakra gateways that actually give you the experience of and feeling of your purpose, and the chakras serve that purpose. And that's the difference between what I do and what everybody else is doing, where they're getting the mystical experiences from the soul, but the chakras are dealing more with the body and the daily life, and they've got wounds in them, and they've got blocks in them, and they've got these things, and those are for real. And it's like, well, that really happened. How could I open that chakra if that really happened? It's the life purpose energy within us that actually teaches us what we're going to be experiencing directly in our lives and calling to us, because the chakras and the life purpose and the soul energy are the law of attraction. And so what if nothing has ever come to you that wasn't supposed to come to you? You just didn't know who you were. Then, if you didn't know who you were, you're going to try to run your chakras the wrong way. You're going to say, well, that's not good for me. I don't want that. Get that away from me. I want this, but that doesn't actually feed you. And then when it doesn't feed you, it makes you tired and stressed and sick. And then you go to a healer, and the healer says, oh, I can fix that. But as we're going to discuss here, sometimes it's like, why don't my chakras stay open? And it's because we're unaware of this bridge, this bridge between the energy of the soul, which the mystics live on, and the energy of the chakras.
Well, so kind of what I'm hearing is that like the conventional realities, you're identifying with the body and mind for the most part. Then people get on a path of growth and development. They start identifying with the energy system, the traditional chakras, but we don't go into this next level, which is actually the bridge to the soul. So that actually helps to kind of link things up so that what we're doing in our life is fully aligned with that, and then we don't see ourselves as the victim of things that we're pulling in, but rather there's a kind of curriculum there. Is that a good summary?
Perfect. Yeah.
That's great. Absolutely. And so there's 3 centers in this the purpose line, if you will, and then there's 2 centers in the soul that you were talking about?
Yes. The experience, the epiphany that people have generally is directly, and when someone really has an epiphany that puts them on the spiritual path, they can have some people call it the coming to Jesus moment, but it's that experience of a unity, a wholeness that doesn't exist in our skin. We're taught as little children, because we were born as little children being totally expanded. We're not a body. We're not, when you're a little kid, you are all of everything, and you see a bird fly and you're just like, I'm flying too. You are not contained in anything until you're taught, no, look at me, you're a boy, you wear blue, you are going to behave like this. This is our religion. This is the way we learn. This is our family. This is how families work. This is this type of society we live in. And we learned that we were a thing. And when we learned that we were a thing, we all had to go through one of the hardest choices that everybody has to make in their lives, which is we have to make the choice at one point between being this child that is, or this energy field, right? This non-form, which we are. We're not a boy or a girl. We're not anything. And we're this expanded sense of self. But our parents are like, no, you got to get to the dinner table on time. You got to go to bed. There's time. We got to put you on a clock. And all of a sudden, we have to make a choice between being this thing where we're going to be sent to therapy if we continue doing it, or being normal. And that's a choice between being who we are and being loved. And we all chose being loved. And in some way, that was the core wound in all of us, that we weren't seen for this amazing greatness because we were seen as children. rather than an amazing soul that just emerged. And I always, I love the image that if our parents were really enlightened, when you came into their life and you chose them, they didn't choose you, you came into their life, and they would look at you and they would say, oh my God, we have no idea what you are. We don't know if you're a boy or a girl. We don't know what your religion is. We don't know what language you're going to speak. We don't know any of those things. But we're going to investigate. We're going to watch. We're going to watch you move. We're going to see what you're drawn to. We're going to allow you to live just from your inside out. I would bet that we would have, by 30 years old, we'd have enlightened people all over the world. Rather than what happens at 30 years old, we start waking up to the realization that we were a bit brainwashed by our parents, and we are having to have a midlife crisis. So
although from your system though, you would say that you attracted exactly those circumstances in order to grow into that realization, right? So you're pulling in that experience of not being seen and not being loved. So it's kind of interesting juxtaposition there.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, once you've decided not to be who you are, the universe never stops sending you who you are. You just can't recognize it, and you call it a trauma, right? We call the things that happen in our lives traumas because we don't recognize that it's trying to teach us how to use our energy in the right way, and discipline us energetically. That's why the martial arts was so good for me, because it sort of brought me into. I had to sort of be in my body. And I was one of these people that just, I would, like my teacher said, you're spending all your time out there. And so learning, these things that came to me, I wasn't there to become a tough guy. That's what my ego, my achiever, the guy who thought he was going to be a top businessman, thought that, right? But I was there to learn about energy, about this horror line, this life purpose line. And I disciplined it, and I went to one of the best schools in the world. It's in Boston, and they developed the best fighters, but they also developed the most solid life purpose line. And the life purpose line in the martial arts was designed, or was energetically seen by the seers and the mystics of the past that were which were the mystery schools, and the monks taught martial arts to them, because physically you have to be able to be knocked down, because your chakras, your physical body and your chakras, often a hurricane comes, wind comes, somebody punches you, you get insulted, and they get knocked over all the time. But when more of you is focused on your purpose, and this line that's for most people is just this tiny little thread is widened into like a giant sequoia, we have a very different ability to deal with the issues of life, because they're not issues to a person who knows who they are. They're just challenges today. Sometimes you dodge, and sometimes you duck, and sometimes you run, right? And sometimes you fight. But it isn't sort of like where we end up with a lot of in our lives, which is this shouldn't have happened, or it shouldn't be happening, or I wish my life were better, or wish it were different. A person who is that inner candle flame that never flickers, that's a person who has a level of inner peace that allows them to deal directly and be more effective and figure out, like you were as a child, that one thing you were, rather than, as your parents probably told you, you could become anything you want, honey. And it's not true. You came in as one thing, and you have one amazing gift that you can deliver in the world. And how do you actually start doing that chakra by chakra? What would it be like to start living that way? What would happen if my chakras served my purpose rather than my purpose being something that my chakras made up?
That's great. That's a great, it's like figure foreground reversal there. So it's like you're sourcing yourself from that sequoia part of yourself, the purpose, so that the storms on the outside don't knock you around. It's great. So let's go into, we have a lot of ground to cover. So one of the things you said when you were talking about today is the difference between knowing your purpose and feeling your purpose. And that's really important to kind of fully activate this.
Yeah, so those of, and probably people if they're watching Shift Network have had some kind of, like I talked about, epiphany, or have done some kind of energy work or meditation where they've experienced an enlightenment or a mystical experience in their body. And when we have that experience, when we feel that deep experience, that's something that can't be undone. And we're taught in our life, most of us, like we talked about the childhood, going from, being sort of the non-formed, children are all feeling, to then going to school and figuring out how to learn and all of that. And we're taught that the most successful people in the world are experts. Okay, and of course I learned that in the martial arts too, that there's certain, you want to become an expert at things. But an expert is someone who actually has stopped feeling and has created an environment that's totally controlled by their mind. So an expert knows exactly how they're going to feel and do things every time. So the brain tells us how we're going to feel. So someone walks in the room and we like that person, we go, oh, I love that person. And your brain says, I love that person, let's feel good. But the master, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. The master feels what's happening in the present moment, doesn't relive any yesterday's news, doesn't become an expert on how I should behave or how I should feel. And the master actually experiences life flowing through them like you did as a child, and you do whenever you're, say, getting off the healing table and you sit up and you realize, wow, I don't have any of my ailments anymore. I'm just like connected to everything. I'm really, and there's sort of like the universe is pulsing like this and you're part of that pulse, right? And the master stays in that state as the primary way that they get information, because that means you're in the present moment where all resources are available to you. And the master then uses their past and their wisdom to then decide what they're going to do with that. And they bring a new idea to every experience that they have, rather than labeling this event just like that. So to do that, I enjoy in school, we use an infinite number. I have a 3-year training in energy medicine. And over the 3-year period, we use just about every type of healing modality to teach you how to manage your energy field and to feel your energy field, because that's really what life's about. Life's about managing your energy, because the more great energy you have, the more fun life is. So, but one of the easiest ones that I use, which I will be using right now with you, are the crystal bowls. And so I'm going to, for those that don't know what crystal bowls are, they're this. They make a beautiful sound and a vibration. And that vibration is linked in each of these bowls. I have 2 bowls here. I'm going to play 2 bowls, and I want you to experience what that feels like. And what I want you to realize is each of these bowls is one of those 12 energy centers, and it will do what your brain can't do, which is feel that energy center. Okay? And so the brain's job is to actually keep you from feeling the energy centers and keep you getting somewhere on time and doing things right and following the orders, and you're remembering the past and worried about the future, and you're not in the present moment, because the present moment isn't where you're going, it's the future. But when I play this bowl, it'll actually enhance, even through your speaker, even through your computer, it will enhance this part of your energy field. It'll vibrate in your energy field. Our bodies are made of primarily crystal. Water's a liquid crystal. Our bones are crystalline structure. Everything in our body is crystal. So when a crystal bowl plays, it will actually use your body like a tuning fork. And whatever part of your body resonates at this tone, which every one of the chakras, the 7 chakras and the 5 spiritual centers, are like a full octave of music. Each one of those will awaken you and have you have an experience, a direct experience that didn't come from your brain. And so you're practicing, even if you've never done this before, whatever you experience is the beginning of your ability to master the chakras rather than figure them out. Okay? Steve,
Gotcha.
you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. So close your eyes, just take a deep breath, and just allow whatever moves through you, a feeling, a vision, sensation, anything. So keep your eyes closed, take a deep breath, and just notice how that vibration woke something up in you. That's actually called a calling when it comes from deep inside of you. Or it could also make some tension in your body. Whatever you experienced is totally fine. Now let's go to the next bowl. So the second bowl. So take a deep breath in, and even just over your speakers, notice that it just seems a little more quiet. And so what's that little more quiet about? Your brain, when it's got a lot of static electricity, a lot of it's spinning, creates noise. The noise that it creates blocks your ability to feel deeply in your chakras, in your energy field, this deeper purpose, which only can exist in the present moment. So, Stephen, how was that for you?
It was good. I felt like the first one had a little bit lower in the energy body and more kind of a orangish yellow kind of sunlight almost energy radiating out and kind of lining things up. And the second one felt a little more like kind of a higher up and kind of a little more like a grid of light or something that was
nice.
Kind of like more like a finer kind of light.
Nice. Okay. So now, so this is what's very important to understand about the energy field. So you'd think if I played a chakra bowl that you would feel it in that chakra, but what you got was actually the experience, and you get a direct experience of your purpose. So the first bowl I played was actually what we call the spiritual life purpose bowl. It was like it's your contract that you made to be here and what you're going to be doing. And so you can see how you're bringing spiritual work in a very grounded, passionate way out into the world by action through your third chakra, through that. So you felt that lower self. It's like, okay, somebody's got to do this. Somebody's going to have to do what it takes. You know, we got all these spiritual people out there and they need someone to pull them together and make this happen. So that was a direct experience of the passion you have, and then that it's an action, right? Coming out in the world. That was your nice. So, okay. So you can, so that
makes a lot of sense.
And that's right, of course. And amazingly, your body will always make a lot of sense when you listen to it, rather than saying, wow, that was kind of cool. Let's play some more bowls. I want to get more of that. But realizing that one experience for a guru that didn't have a crystal bowl, 10,000 years ago, if he had that one experience, he would have used that to realize enlightenment, okay? Because that is actually directly, and even if I played that same bowl again, you would have a different experience, but the message would always be the same. The message from your soul, from your purpose is always the same. Okay, so now so your highest spiritual quality is actually to be here and take action. Okay, now interestingly, the second bowl that I played, this nice little golden dolphin bowl, is the second chakra. And so what's interesting is that your purpose, remember that when the bowls play and it doesn't come from your brain, it has to be emerging from the soul. The soul can speak through your chakras when you do healing work, okay? When you do healing work, you get an experience. So you had a direct experience of what your second chakra is here to do. And your second chakra had this, its focus isn't just about sort of being like, whoa, I'm feeling everything, man. It's like so cool. And it's not that. It's like you're hearing, you're experiencing, you're tuned into, your feelings are tuned into a really high spiritual set of information. And so your life purpose is to get down here and make things happen on the earth. But your gift is that you feel and can sense and know where the wisdom is, where the power is. And so for any of you that are listening to this at home, Stephen got actually 2 direct experiences of his highest purpose, his soul calling, right? Which was cool, Stephen. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, I particularly love your interpretation of it. I thought that was really illuminating. That was great.
But that's, and basically, once you understand how the energy field works, those experiences are all the voice of your soul. When the bowl plays, whatever you experience is the voice of your soul, because your brain didn't come up with it. Your brain comes up with every one of your emotions all day long. But when you do a healing or do bowls, all of a sudden you're like, wow, you couldn't have guessed that you'd feel that when I played that bowl. Not in a million years. It's like, what was that? Yeah. But that what was that is so foreign because it's not coming from your brain, it's coming from your soul. And your soul only speaks to you in 2 ways. It either tells you what your highest potential is, which would be your purpose, or it tells you how you're blocking it. So some of you that are watching this, and thank you all for watching and being involved, and hopefully you all get a healing from this. Some of you are going to have felt that like a ringing in your ear, a pressure in your heart, maybe pulsing in your hands. It could have been anything, or something that if you have maybe you have an injury and the injury started getting more sore, and so what happens is that your body will also reject your purpose in life, and the way it does it causes the illnesses of your life. So it's not just a matter of having a block in your chakra because you had a trauma around your emotions when you were a child, in the 2nd chakra, or you were told that you would never amount to anything in the 3rd chakra. That is true. But what we did was we then decided that we're going to vow, and we'll talk about this in more length, that we weren't going to be who we were. We're going to be somebody else. And when we make that vow, we shift our energy away from who we are. That creates an empty, like if I say, I'll always be loving and never be mean, right? Of course, we all have a mean side. We all have that shadow side. We all have that. But when I do that, that creates the block in the chakra. That's what a chakra block is. It's a vow to avoid parts of who we are. Mm-hmm. And so when you feel that, you will feel the experience. So people often feel depending upon what the bowl is, they'll feel a pressure on their heart. And now that means that whatever the bowl was playing, let's say it's the 3rd chakra, who I am, doesn't get to be who I am because I've got pressure from my relationships that I'm not allowed to be totally who I am. And so it's totally fine if you didn't feel the bowls well, or you felt like they were ringing in your ears. That's always where it's like, oh God, it was killing me in my right ear. Well, the right ear is where you get, where you receive guidance to take action, right? And where you believe, where you get your spiritual guidance, sort of your God ear. That's your God ear. And the left ear is like your goddess ear, where you are willing to hear and take in what you hear, right? So this one's about take action. I'm telling you, God's lips to your life, or whatever, how that saying goes. But that's that take action side. You get your guidance and you go. On the left side, when someone says to you, you say, oh God, it was killing me in my left ear. Oftentimes when someone says something like, you're so beautiful, you're so amazing, I love you. And you're like, yeah, I don't believe it. And it's not trusting. There's the sort of like the side that teaches you to trust. So anywhere in your body, in every part of your body, every joint, every organ, every part of your body, of course, every chakra has a very specific way that it processes life force energy and soul energy in your life. And anytime you block that soul energy, remember those pictures, we had the soul and then the life purpose and then the chakras and then your body. Well, if the soul energy is trying to get through to your life so you can just radiate in your life and be the next Martin Luther King in the world, but it's getting blocked because you said no to your purpose, that is going to be painful. Because anything that we deny in ourselves leaves an empty hole. And that empty hole is always where pain is. And that's why we always try to fill ourselves with something that we aren't. So
there's a concept that we had on the page describing today about coherence and congruence. And so I'd love for you to build a little on what you're just sharing right now and how what this ultimately it lends us to is when we get all these things lined up, then there's a coherence on our energy field and a congruence with who we are, show up to be, which builds trust and allows things to move more quickly.
Right. And I think the heart math people have brought this idea of coherence here in the fourth chakra. The idea that the central chakra brings unity to all and has more energy, and the heart is actually able to understand and deal with the crazy ideas of the mind and understand them as vibrations and pool those, and also understand the passions and the emotions, the lower self, and brings it into coherence. And so the idea that the heart can bring in coherence is absolutely true. Where I expand this, and there's everything that's out there right now is a miracle. All of the healing modalities, I work with them all. I love them. What's missing is that there's a thread that goes through not only all the chakras, but all of the spiritual centers as well, which leads right back to the soul. And coherence means that, and what we are going to do on the workshop is we're going to find out what purpose each of your chakras serves. And and we can talk about just, very simply that there are souls, and the souls that come to the earth come in and they can come through a human body and experience through the human body and bring us this consciousness, but they all have one of 5 qualities. And those qualities are the super sort of mystical, creative kind of quality. And that's a soul quality, that they are etheric in the sort of the way that they sort of are more connected to spirit than they are to the world. And they have that. Of course, sometimes they also aren't paying attention to what you're saying either.
Is this the same as the life purpose profiles when you're talking about this 5?
These are the life purpose profiles, and these 5 soul qualities are one of the ways that we're going to help you understand, and what we're doing here. And we'll do it with your bowls too, Stephen. So we'll talk about that. Which one of those would be feeling that way? So we have, and then we have the deep feelers, what we call the emotional intelligence people, and that's a soul quality. That's not something that, these are the leopard spots. These aren't things that change over your lifetime. You were born with this quality within you. You were a child, and even though I totally thought I'm going to be an achiever and a leader and my primary energy is this creative idealist that sees and has these visions and has these dreams and brings those into reality through achieving, which are some of my other energies. But the primary way that I operate, that's the one that makes me the most happy. And each of us have to know that. So are you creative? Are you a deep feeler? Are you very caretaking? I mean, born to caretake. Not caretaking because it's a good thing to do and because you get the most love from it, but really because you just are just like, I just love people. Is that, and you're hugging everybody, and that's just who you are. Or are you an achiever that really what I thought I was going to be, which was a businessman, a focused and good in school and often lots of letters behind your name, that kind of a thing, where you are a doer and you see the big picture. And then we've got people that are leaders in the world that can do all the others. They can achieve, they can caretake, they can have deep feelings, they can be creative, but they're here to use all of those elements to be the one that makes the difference, to be the Martin Luther King, to be the person who steps up, the Oprah, the Gandhi, the person that's like, somebody has to do this, the Stephen, so Stephen, so let's just ask, so if every feeling you have speaks to at least certainly one profile, but often maybe more than that, what profile, which of those 5 would you say you experienced just then?
I'm definitely more in the leader category. I'm more of an integrator of different functions and organizing people to make a larger impact.
Right. And so you got this lower passion, which is the leader, and the action, okay? But then you also got and remember, what you got was this higher sense of wisdom, sense of, say it again, say what you experienced on the
It's
upper
a little bit
chakra.
more kind of like a finer, whiter kind of grid of light kind of qualities. So a little bit more of like, in a way, it's kind of had almost an architectural kind of pattern to it.
Perfect. And of course, it's the knowledgeable achiever that sees things in structure that way. And keep in mind that every chakra has a way that it operates. So 1, 3, 5, and 7 are all grid patterns. So you saw the white of the 7th chakra and the grid pattern of it. Okay. The 2, 4, and 6 are the emotional chakras, and so they are non-form. They're more etheric. Okay, and in the energy field, that's how they operate. They're constantly, the emotions buffer the structure. And so you directly experience, by feeling your 2nd chakra, you experience that the most important feelings that you get are the wisdom of the 7th chakra, which is what a knowledgeable achiever does, and seeing spirituality as something that actually has a structure. I have some of that too. That's why I'm teaching what I teach. That's why I'm realizing, I was like, I don't want to just teach, the same stuff. I want to take this to the next level. What's the real foundation? What's the real structure of this? So my creative idealist also has a strong achiever that then sees how things work and come together. So so you have both the 2 strong qualities, which are the leader, which has the passion and the action, and the wisdom of the knowledgeable achiever that tempers your leader, so you aren't just running off, willy-nilly doing, the latest great thing here. You will tend to get on a mission and then stick with it and continuously improve it, because those 2 mean that you're going to be a person that likes to the achiever likes to master. The charismatic leader likes to win. So you love to win, but you love to win through mastery.
Great. Well, I really appreciate the way you're framing things back for me, as I'm getting a whole healing and intuitive download myself here. Well, I think this is a great time. We've already covered a lot of ground today, and I want to make sure that we have some time to talk about your upcoming program in more depth, because it's very clear from just this first time with you just how much you've learned and how much you're able to really structure an understanding of these systems that is frankly unique. I haven't heard people talk about the same areas in the same way. Like, you're really offering some very new syntheses and new insights that bring together disciplines from healing to martial arts to kind of soul purpose work in a very creative and a way that I think can really get traction in people's lives. So let's share about that. So the program that Rhys is going to be teaching is called Unleashing Your Soul Purpose Through Your 12 Chakra Gateways, Activating Your Energy Body, Higher Mission, and Hidden Genius. So it's really building upon some of the core concepts we've talked about here today, but then taking them into practice and really having each person walk through this whole journey together. You can find the details on this program at chakrasoulpurpose.com. That's CHAKRA, soul, SOUL, purpose.com, chakrasoulpurpose.com. It's going to be a 7-week program, and it's going to bring together a whole variety of these different threads into a more coherent understanding, taking what a lot of you probably know about chakras and healing, but then bringing in the soul purpose work and looking at how to bridge these things in a way that creates the coherence to really to be more authentically yourself and show up in a way that can really be a great influence in your family and your personal life and your larger world. So it's about bridging the inner with the outer in a way that really lines things up. So Rhys, I'd love for you to share in your own words what people are going to emerge from this 7-week program having learned and grown and experienced.
Well, first of all, they're gonna learn about the chakras in a very different way, not just in a spinning vortex of light way, but really as dimensions of your consciousness. I mean, if once you understand chakras, there's no sort of chakra in my body. My whole life's a chakra, right? Every chakra is just a filter for how you're going to perceive reality. And so we're going to teach you that, and we're going to learn that. And then you're going to realize that the way you perceive that through that chakra, which everybody has a chakra like that, is unique to you and unique to your profile, to your purpose in life. And so picture a chakra You know, let's say you got a good big chakra. There's a big heart chakra. Okay, so each person has a heart chakra, and we all have heart chakra. We all have 7 chakras. Okay, the 5 chakra gateways, the 7 chakra gateways, these are the chakras, and then the 5 spiritual chakra gateways aren't chakras in the same sense as these. They're more of deeper levels of consciousness. They're on a different dimension of this. They're not working here. They're not spinning energy in and out of the planet. They're even deeper chakra knowing, sort of like magnets, much bigger magnets to our life than our chakras are. But picture that we have this chakra, and each one of us has a chakra, and all of relationship, every relationship that's ever existed, is here on the planet, right? It's all in the astral plane, and actually the lower chakras in the earth plane, the heart is at the astral plane, and then the upper chakras in the spiritual plane. And so at the heart level, of course, every relationship that has ever existed, every archetype, every person that's ever breathed is available to you in some way through the heart chakra. Okay, whether it be past life or current or whatever, but you're going to attract certain types of lessons in your life. So picture that this heart chakra right here has within it 100, let's just pick a number, 100 little chakras inside of it. And those 100 little chakras are the only thing that you will ever feed your heart. So you have 100 things of 10 trillion billion infinite number of things and people and relationships that you can experience on the earth. There's 100 that you're supposed to. You're figuring out which that is tells you how powerful and how deep and how supportive and how serving your relationships will be. We will be talking about some of these deeper energy medicine. I run a 3-year training in energy medicine. And on this 7-week course, we're going to give you a really nice foundation to understand that chakras are so much more than they're being taught right now.
That's fascinating. Well, I encourage people to go to the page at chakrasoulpurpose.com. That's CHAKRA SOUL purpose.com. And you can see things that are laid out in a lot more detail. So you're really going to get this deeper tour of the chakras, connecting into the soul purpose. You get practices that help you open and create that deeper resonance and coherence. You're also going to get, this is all on video, so you're going to get some of the great visuals and bowls and really working with things in a deeper way than you can with a purely audio program. So you get not only the live classes where you can have Q&A time with Rhys, and then you also have time afterwards where you can engage in small group practices and connect with each other, also online in a Facebook group. You get all of the video recordings as well as audio recordings, transcripts. It really allows you to learn in a more multimodal way. The program is going to begin on February 21st and be on Wednesdays at 5 Pacific time. And we also have some other great bonuses that go with this program, and we'll just share a little bit about those, which you can find in more detail on the page at chakrasoulpurpose.com. One is an ebook by Rhys. It's called The 12 Gateways to Your Life Purpose, that really helps you understand the conceptual foundations in a deeper way of how this work relates to the life purpose. There's also an audio recording that Rhys has done. Oh, there it is, 12 Gateways to, it's like beautifully presented as well. So you'll get that ebook when you sign up, and that helps you deepen your understanding. And also have an audio meditation called the Creator Meditation. You want to share a little bit about what the Creator Meditation is all about, Rhys?
Yeah, so when you start doing this work, when you start navigating from your body to your soul and back and forth between your chakras, and you start realizing that this is all how we are creating ourselves, and our soul is literally emerging. It's part of the void of infinite possibility, to recognize that in every trillionth of a second, your soul, your purpose is trading in the particles that create your atoms. At every trillionth of a second, it's trading them all in, brand new. And then the question is what if I knew how to harness that energy so that I could meditate, and each morning I could create the person that I always wanted to be? And I can tell you that we have had, I mean, this is not guaranteed to anybody, but we have had miraculous healings. We've had transformations. We've had people come into people's lives after just a day or two of doing this creator meditation, because when you shift and call from the void who you really are, amazingly, the universe sends you what you really want. Whereas if you keep telling the void, I don't like all this, I don't want my life, I don't want this, it's going to keep sending you more of, I don't want this, right? So the creator meditation is one of the most powerful meditations that we offer at the school. I gift it to you in this course, and it is something that you will just love.
That sounds fantastic. We also want to draw attention, there's other great bonuses too. There's an emotional balance healing audio. This is guided by Rhys as well. And we have a special bonus that's available only today. This is our little gift to you to really make a decision now and to go over to the page, give it a read, tune in with your own knowing. If you're getting a yes to move forward, then you've got an extra incentive to do so today until midnight. So that's called the 5 Life Purpose Profile Introduction, the 5 soul qualities. So Rhys gave a little bit of an introduction into this. This is very much connected to, it's connected to the character work, right? The character types. It is sort of like you're taking it to another level of the character types.
Yeah, really. It is I think it's about a 25-minute lecture that I gave at the school, starting from the very basics and teaching you the foundational, how the soul energy works through these energy centers and what these five types of souls are out in the spirit world, and then when they come into the planet, who they really are, and then how they choose your life, your energy, your parents, your place in the world. It's like when you're done with that, you'll understand that right now the universe is counting on you to do what you're supposed to do in the world. And knowing what that is this deeper feeling inside of you. So that is all about sort of the deeper sort of like what does this whole path mean? How do I get on this path and understand that there's a real step-by-step process to transforming my life. Doesn't have to be random. It doesn't have to be sort of like, well, I'll do this. I got my Reiki thing, and then I do this, and I'm going to learn to meditate, and then I'm going to, work on my relationship. And you bring yourself back to this deeper soul quality within you, and it's an integrative. Everything I teach teaches 3 things. So you're always going to get 3 things from me. You're going to get clarity of your soul's purpose. You're going to get that. You're going to say, oh my God, it's always been in me. Okay, and that clarity then opens the channel for the soul energy to not only fill your chakras, but to stay filling your chakras, right? So you're not going to reject it thinking you're not that. You're going to accept that, and that gives you the energy. And when you have clarity and energy, you have the courage to go out and do the one thing that no one else in the world can do, which is be you and live and share your mission in the world.
Well, that sounds like one of the most practical bonuses you could get. So that's a great extra incentive to sign up today at chakrasoulpurpose.com. Again, the course begins on February 21st. We've kept it very accessible in terms of your investment. It's just 3 payments of $109, or you save 10% when you pay in full up front. So it should be accessible for whoever feels called. Again, that's chakrasoulpurpose.com. You get the full program with Rhys. You get the community, you get the Q&A time, you get the videos, you get all of the extra bonuses, and you get the work with the life purpose profiles when you sign up today until midnight. So all in all, it sounds like a fascinating program. Rhys, I'm really impressed with how much new material you shared today and really offered some fascinating integrative perspectives. And I think it's no accident that if people go to the page, they see you've got endorsements from people like Donna Eden and David Feinstein, who are recognized as really the pioneers of energy medicine, about how you're taking it to another level and integrating streams of wisdom that that are new. And I think we're always interested at Shift in like, what's the next leading edge? And I always appreciate when people draw from multiple traditions and offer a next level synthesis, because it's like we're gradually building towards a more and more integrative, holistic, mind, body, spirit approach that also translates into action in the world. And I think you've really done a great job of bringing many threads together in a way that has a lot of practical value for people.
When you find out who you are, you do find out that you have these certain sort of quirky qualities. And one of my quirky qualities is that I'm what's called an iconoclast. and I'm a synthesizer. I'm not an organizer. I'm a synthesizer. And so I tend to look at things and look at the world. And I happen to get in tennis. I did the same thing. I was like, well, you're not teaching it right. I mean, the martial arts did this 10,000 years ago. This is how you train an athlete, right? Don't be doing it wrong. Train and balance first. And so I did that. Then I got into energy medicine. I was like, come on, this is, you got all these disparate things. They're all over the place. Let's make them one thing. There's one thing holding them all together. I want to find that one thing. And that's what I call an iconoclast, where I see the world as it is, and I'm like amazed by it. And then I think, wow, we can make that even better.
Well, it's great that you're bringing that gift and service to all of us who are interested in evolving and awakening and really becoming our soul embodied in a deep way. And I think the work you're doing, bridging from the soul to the light, to the soul purpose, into the chakras and the healing involved and congruence that gets created, is really quite brilliant and a great contribution. So thank you, Rhys, for this time today. Thank you for all of your investigations at the leading edge of consciousness, and thanks for synthesizing it in this beautiful new program, which people can benefit from, called Unleashing Your Soul Purpose Through Your 12 Chakra Gateways, which you can find at chakrasoulpurpose.com. That's CHACRA soul, SOUL, purpose.com. So thanks, Rhys, and thanks all for joining us. And let's go forth and learn more and expand more and awaken more and really show up as the beautiful souls that we are here to help shift things.
Thank you, Stephen. That was awesome.